Welcome back to Super Centex After Dark. We were sitting here talking about ACL and Riesel Food Mart. I mean, this is how it roll. This is how we roll on Friday Night Raw.
The food fighters are playing at the Riesel Food Mart.
Chad, let's start with you since you're already sassy. And apparently you saw a pretty epic game. Franklin's first loss in how many games?
39. They'd won 39 in a row. And I went into the press box and talked to the press box guys about going for number 40. I did my research with Jerry Forrest and found out how many schools have gotten a 40. And man, I just jinxed the crap out of them.
But big win for the Lorena Leopards.
Gosh, it really was. And it was such a fun game to cover. As good a game as I've been to in a while. I wrote in my story, Lorena did not play perfect. They had a couple of picks and a fumble and kind of a bad mistake deep in their own end in the first half. They go to halftime down 34-21. But I tell you what, Lorena's offense is really good. Caden Roberts, I think, is an underrated quarterback, and he had all kind of time to throw tonight. Did a great job. Braylon Henry, 237 yards, 5 touchdowns. So we were talking about Super Syntax Offensive Player of the Year, and for sure, Cash McCollum is still kind of statistically and kind of throwing up some highlights, but don't count out Braylon Henry to keep his dad's legacy alive of that back-to-back, right?
No doubt. And
Yeah.
what does that do for Lorena in terms of if they win out? I mean, they would be district champs, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean they're 5-0 now. I guess they have two games left. I don't guess they've had their bye week yet. So they definitely have the inside track now. It was crazy tonight. I mean, Franklin tied it up at 49-49 with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left, and it's like, okay, that's it. That was a mistake. They needed to score with a minute or less left, and maybe tie it and go for 2 with almost no time left because Lorena was playing that well on offense.
Wow.
And you know what? Lorena played for the field goal on the on the last second. They gave the ball to Braylon Henry, got him on the right hash mark. Then James Webb comes in and kicks the game-winning field goal with no time left. And it was cool. I got a video interview with him that'll be on wacotrib.com, and I asked him a question about what it was like to, celebrate with his teammates in the last few minutes. And as I'm videoing it, it kind of hits him what had just happened, that they beat the number 1 team in the state on that play. So everybody go watch that if you get a chance.
Yeah, I will also have a video interview of DJ White for Midway. And I'm just going to say this right now. I made a mistake in my interview with DJ White.
Did you call him DJ Ramirez?
No, I asked him about his touchdown. Midway scored 3 defensive touchdowns tonight, and it was hard to keep track. He did not have one of the 3. However, he did have – I knew he had a big play. He had a fumble recovery in the end zone that prevented a Bryan touchdown. Anyway, DJ, he just rolled with it. And since I'm talking about it, I might as well keep talking about it. Huge win for Midway. Significant on a number of levels. So according to multiple historians, including Jerry Forrest, it's the 500th win in Midway program history. So there's that. It also puts the Panthers back in the playoffs, first time since 2019. So there's that. And they'll get a chance to play for a district championship next week against Pflugerville-Weiss. If they beat Weiss, they get a share of the district championship. So, yeah, I mean, and it was a complete performance by Midway. Like I said, 3 defensive touchdowns. They had 2 100-yard rushers. It was the best the running games looked all year. Eduardo Longoria.
Oh, Bryce is breaking up.
Very. I'm breaking up a little bit. I'm driving through the boondocks here.
That's okay. You should have got to the Riesel Food Mart with me.
All right, all right. Well, let's talk to someone else then. A team that we haven't really talked about this year that's very underrated is Valley Mills, and that's where Levi was. Levi, what can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by Valley Mills. I didn't really have like that high of expectations for either team going into it. Rosebud really struggled tonight. I don't know how that team beat Crawford. The team that I watched did not look good at all. But on the other hand, Valley Mills was dominant. That was a super complete game. Coach Featherston after the game said that was like the most complete game that his team has played since he's got there. I think their quarterback, Alondis Taylor, is really underrated. He can throw the ball. He's a pretty decent runner. They have some good skill position players. Their sophomore running back, Deshaun Johnson, had 4 touchdowns all in the first half, and he's a big dude. He kind of set the tone early, just running over people. And so yeah, Valley Mills beats Bosqueville. Even if they lose to Marlin, they're going to make the playoffs. So they're a pretty
You
good
know
team.
what
They
I
are
love? Levi
underrated.
always brings the harsh truth. They just did not look good at all.
I like it.
Well,
I
like
like it.
I've only covered one game where I think it was like a 1 possession game. The final score was a 1 possession game.
Mm.
So I'm normally on the end of some blowout, and tonight was another blowout.
Right. Sure, yep.
Those Lorena Franklin games or something, but Johnny didn't see a good one tonight either. Hillsboro kind of got it handed to him, didn't they?
Well, Bryce, it wasn't good, but it was fast. The game was over at 9:15. So I've had time to like write a story, do some chores, watch some highlights, eat a snack, drink some coffee, take a little nap. Yeah, but no, Glen Rose had one really great performer, Josiah Groneweg. Little guy, 5'7", 170, really fast and just a playmaker. He caught a 58-yard touchdown pass. He set up another touchdown with a 54-yard touchdown catch. He returned a punt for a 36-yard touchdown. He set up another touchdown with a 32-yard punt return. He had a sack. Wow. And I talked to him after the game, and he was really excited.
I bet he was.
But Glen Rose, they just dominated. They forced 4 turnovers. They were mostly in Hillsboro's backyard the whole night. That it was pretty much played on one side of the field, that game.
What'd you say his name was, John? Josiah Grindelwald?
Josiah Groneweg.
Oh. I thought he was one of the villains from Harry Potter, Grindelwald.
Oh my God. Off the rails.
If those villains were fast, he was probably in it.
Yeah. DJ, what game were you at again? I can't even remember.
Grandview-West.
Grandview-West. How did that one come out?
Well, it was a 2-point loss for the Trojans. So I guess third time was not the charm for them against Grandview. They played really hard. That's you can't ever say that West is not gonna play without effort. At least, just small little mistakes, and then Grandview's a really good team, and so they made adjustments. It was really funny because I looked up right as the game is starting. Right, I don't always pay attention to the kickoff because I'm like, oh, they're just gonna return it, start at the 25 or whatever. But they had this one kid, Jaleel Allen, who's just dodging tackles and swerving around, and then which is weird to see West miss that many tackles, especially on a kickoff. But he went in and scored, and then they took it back because of a penalty. And then West looked really good in the first half, particularly in the first quarter. Grandview couldn't get past the midfield until halfway through the second quarter when they tied it up at 7. And
hey, wait, now since we're on the subject of the Trojans, did University hold on and win that game at Lander Rouse?
I believe so. Somebody who has seen the scoreboard to answer that question.
Is somebody in position to look that up?
I thought they did win.
If so, that's a huge win for University.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. In the meantime, let's go talk to Michael, who was at the la-vega game. And
so you're just not gonna let me finish talking about West?
Oh, sorry.
Bruce, are y'all still on the street? You're bumping around like you're running out into a field or something. Y'all still on the highway?
It's crazy. We are on Highway 6.
Kind of bumpy.
You sure you haven't veered off into like a cotton field? You're kind of all over the place.
I need to smooth this road out, man. Get these out here.
All right. To Michael, what you got, man?
DJ, did you want to finish or no?
Yes, Michael, take us away.
All right, I'll take it away. Yeah, no, it was a really impressive showing for la-vega. I mean, obviously they were pretty ticked off coming off of that loss to China Spring last week. They felt like they could have had that one on the road, and so they came out and really just put a beating on them early. Alvarado was kind of kicked in the stomach, if you will, in that first quarter. And it's funny because Alvarado was going on these I'll say long drives, but they were the ones who were milking the clock because la-vega scored or jumped out to a 21-0 lead. And I'd put it in the story. They only had the ball for like 2 minutes and 38 seconds of that time. Like they weren't driving the ball. They were just stopping them on fourth down and then hand the ball off to Bryson Rowland and he does the rest. Which is a recipe for success, obviously, for anyone that's watched or kept up with la-vega this year. I know Levi's been very high on those dogs that they've got over there. And Coach Hyde said it best himself. He said, when you've got number 2 and number 0 in that backfield, it's like I had mentioned earlier, it's a recipe for success. And but yeah, a really strong showing. Defense, I feel like I didn't watch that China Spring game last week, but I think the defense probably played a little bit better. That Alvarado offense is pretty solid. I mean, they got some playmakers on that side. Their quarterback especially is really dynamic. And they held them in check for most of the game. I mean, they got a couple garbage time points there at the end, but what was impressive is every time la-vega was kind of hit with a counter punch, la-vega just bounced right back and scored right back, which is huge. You have to have that. And I'd also put this in the story, but now Don Hyde's offense is averaging over 50 points a game in district play. So offense is tearing it up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Now I
was impressed by their offense last week. Yeah.
I talked to Coach Hyde earlier this week, yesterday, I guess, and he's not quite as excited about how the defense is giving up some points, but he is an old school defensive coach, so I think he'd like to see some improvement there. But certainly, la-vega is pretty explosive with Junior Thornton, Bryson.
You got to dance with the girl that brung in. If their offense is rolling, you got to dance with the offense.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Did I hit everyone? Is that everyone that's on the pod?
DJ, did you have anything to add about the West game? I didn't mean to derail you, although I do like to derail this podcast. It is kind of my weekly mission.
Yeah, that's true. It is Friday Night Raw.
Hey, Bryce, as a hiker, I would like to mention, I was very impressed. Glen Rose had a guy named Canyon Evans, their QB, and a defensive player named Canyon Costello, who got an interception. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
You were in your element.
In my element.
Yeah, and I had a good time in Bryan. I got to have dinner with my Aggie son and his girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then I also, in the press box, it was quite a media contingent of, it was me and Smoke and Robert Cessna, David G. Yeah, so it was fun. So yeah, good time.
And you were happy that the Astros had a dramatic come from behind win, 5-4.
Absolutely.
Put a dagger in the Rangers.
It's not over. It's not over. But thank you, Jose Altuve.
It is
I've got
over.
one-
It is over.
I've got one more observation from tonight. Okay,
Okay.
Gen X sideline dad is a little off the chain sometimes.
Is this a Lorena or a Franklin dad?
I'm not gonna say nothing because some of them folks might know me, but goodness, some folks need to calm down.
Okay. That was very cryptic, but anyway. All right.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, Gen X is kind of coming into like they're the dads now,
Right.
and I'm a
Right.
Gen Xer, right? So I have to call out my own. And I'm like, Gen X dads, chill out. Let the kids play. Shut up.
Yeah. DJ
Yeah.
asked me today what Facebook was, and I said it's Instagram for Jen. So yeah. Anyway. All right, we're running out of steam here. I'm almost to the retail food part.
Drive by, there's a party going on here.
Yeah, baby. All right.
Check out the
y'all,
local talent.
I'll send y'all's games for next week. We got some good ones coming, including some
Yeah.
games for district championships. So all
Sweet.
right.
Right
Peace out.
on.
Y'all take care.
Bye.